should I, as a critic, as a commentator, etc., am I allowed to draw a distinct difference between someone who just gets caught and gets clipped and somebody who got beat up? Because when I think about Anthony Joshua, I'm thinking he got beat up. He didn't get caught. He got beat up. But what do you say?
Beat up? I mean, he lost. He lost. Mm-hmm. I don't quite understand what you're trying to say.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that there is a difference. You know this better than me because you were a world-class fighter. There is a difference between simply getting caught, like you're fighting a good fight, but you get stunned, fight is over, as opposed to somebody outboxing you, out-countering you, and beating you up. There's no difference between the two in your estimation?
Nine times out of 10, great fighters dominate, break their fighters down, take them out. Again, the thing was, it's like ebb and flow. It was like Joshua came on strong, then he faded, and then because Ruiz became the dominant player. He became the dominant fighter in this fight. I mean, he was doing what he wanted to do, and he was not at the same caliber. But I give him props because it's this mental stability. He has that mindset. He has inspired so many people because he says, you know what? It's not matter what you look like. It's no matter what you do.
Sugar Ray Leonard right here with Stephen A. Yeah, Sugar Ray Leonard right here with Stephen A. ESPN Radio, ESPN News. He tweeted me with this. I'm talking about Deontay Wilder, WBC champion. He tweeted me and he texted me this before he tweeted it out. He said, Joshua, he wasn't a true champion. His whole career consisted of lies, contradictions, and gifts, facts. And now we know who was running from who. What do you make about that tweet from the other heavyweight champion of the world, Deontay Wilder, about Anthony Joshua?
Deontay, listen, I don't have much to say about that, and I shouldn't have much to say about that because you have two guys that were inevitably going to meet each other for one of the biggest, or if not the biggest fight in boxing history. And I'm sure Deontay is quite upset because that fight, I couldn't wait because I knew that was going to be, hopefully down the future, the next big fight between the two, between Joshua and Wilder. I mean, that fight, how many boxing fans, in fact, I saw Eddie Hearn after the fight, and I looked at him and I didn't want to, talk about the fight, but I had to say, what happened? What was wrong? And he just shook his head. He said he doesn't know. And I said, I don't know either. It's you got to ask Joshua what happened. I'm sure he's been asked, but you can't answer that question right after the fight. Your brain's been knocked around.
Sugar Ray Leonard right here with Stephen A. ESPN Radio, ESPN News. So let me ask you this. With Ruiz and Joshua, because obviously a rematch is inevitable, do you see anything different happening? Or is this one of those situations where styles makes fights and Ruiz might have Joshua's number?
No, not that. It's not that easy. I mean, I heard him say styles make fights. Styles do make fight, kind of what kind of fight you're going to get, where you can get boxer, puncher. Yeah, that does, but to a degree. You know what? It's going to all be up to Joshua. First of all, at first I looked at him smiling, and I'm saying, what the hell's going on? Because I was emotionally devastated my first professional loss with Roberto Duran. I got to myself. I cried like a baby, man. I mean, come on. I want to win. I want to freaking win, and I come back with vengeance. But again, Joshua can only answer that question.
Let me ask you this. When we look at this, I'm thinking about, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm so disgusted because I'm one of those guys that I love boxing so much. I really, really do. I've grown up watching it all my life. And I think about the great, great fights that you gave us. I think about the great, great fights that so many guys from your day has given us. And I see now more than ever fighters and promoters both delaying fighters, which is why I just went at Canelo Alvarez for getting on me about, how this fight, the mega fight, was ruined. Because I'm like, that's exactly what you didn't do, Canelo. You gave us Triple G, and not just once, but twice when we wanted it. This is what I'm concerned about. about. And so now we see a Terrence Crawford versus an Errol Spence Jr. on the horizon. Should this be a fight that should forewarn them and everybody? Anything can happen in the sport of boxing. When the mega fights are there to be had, make them. Should this be the warning, the wake-up call to boxing to make sure we get these fights when we want to see them?
A warning. This is a natural thing that takes place. Some days, rare days, I should say, because it's not all the time we fight. There are rare moments that we're in that dressing room and things just not clicking. We have a bad day. You can have a bad day at work, you have a bad day in the office and this and that, but you can't have a bad day in that ring. And they do happen, not often, but they do happen. And you get into that ring, and also the guy, the opponent, your opposition, he's not banking. He's not, because you say he can't win. I fuel off that. I fuel off being the underdog. And every now and then you get a fighter like Ruiz. You look at him, you say, no, this guy doesn't look like a champion. He proved, everyone's mouth went down. The jaw dropped. I couldn't talk. I couldn't speak. I was like seeing the impossible become possible. And I give him his props. No question about that.
Sugar Ray Leonard right here with Stephen A., ESPN Radio, ESPN News. How do you feel about the sport of boxing as we speak? Because everybody thinks this is a great, great thing that's happened because obviously there's another dude that has entered the fray and he's made us aware of additional talent within the heavyweight division. Again, I hope Andy Ruiz is watching. I want to give him all the props in the world. The kid appears to be very, very skilled. The record is impressive, and now he's the heavyweight champion of the world. I can't take anything away from him.